morning, ladies and gentlemen, or, well, good afternoon. Well, it's 11:59 a.m., almost good morning. What we see here is a perfectly normal ExoTerra nano cage. See a temperature sensor, see a water dish, some hides, little door gap. That's all we see. See another little dish here. And this thing, what this does is this raises your humidity just a little bit to 55 or 60 degrees. But if nothing is done in this cage, this carabiner versicolor will probably be dead within 2 or 3 days. You heard me, 2 or 3 days, done. See, the roommate admitted to this, overfilled this water dish. The water spilled onto the substrate. Now, as we all know, versicolor is not a wet spider. This is a dry spider. In fact, she was hanging out at the bottom around here. He actually, I think it's male, was hanging around here. Not really a death curl, but kind of curled up, behaving abnormally. Added this water dish. The spider face planted in the water dish, was desperately thirsty, needed to drink. Problem is you can't overfill a water dish like this. What you do, simply take a device like this and just gently drip a little bit of water through the screen or whatever, fill it up. Check your water dish twice a day, there's no problem. Everything's fine. Nevertheless, roommate overfilled the dish. You can see the thermometer, 80 degrees. Lamp, about, about 9.5 inches away. Keeps it warm, hot side, and as you see, a cold side. How do I know it's 76? Notice the problem. The cold side is 75 degrees as it should be. Down here, we have a humidity sensor. Up here, we have one carabiner versicolor. Seeing the problem. The humidity, because the water dish was overfilled, is at 82%. You can't see it. You can't smell it. This is why you have a need to know. Now, there's a couple things you can do. You could take the spider out and let the cage dry. Perfectly acceptable. And then put the spider back in, just put it in a little, catch cup or whatever to rescue it. But there's other alternatives. This is why you have to know. Measuring something isn't dangerous. The only stupid question is the one you don't ask. Now, how do we reduce humidity? With a fan. Let's see. As you can see, in the nano, we have intakes. The air travels through these intakes here, goes up, and travels out through the screen. In order to reduce this humidity, the only thing we need to do, we don't need to blow on the spider. You never do that. The only thing we have to do is to push a very small amount of air in through here, because the only thing we have to do is exceed the speed of evaporation. And this is something I had problems with the Mantis cage with this problem, and I've seen this devil before. We're simply going to move it. This is at the lowest setting. Fan's turning, and it's blowing air across here into here. Now let's see how well it works. Still 83. Takes a few minutes. 82. We've already dropped 1%. So all we're doing is just putting a little bit of air into these intakes. This is why you measure things. Now eventually, it's not dropping that fast, but what we can do too, up 81%. Okay? Also, what you can do too, just to help the process along. Oh, 80%. Well, we really don't need to help it along. Just open the door. Notice our versicolor. Perfectly happy. Has a little bit of light shining on him, little guy. You can't see him that well, but hasn't moved. He's happy, but these guys, oh, down to 77%. These guys are dry spider. They like your humidity, probably no more than 60%. They're, maybe even room temperature. But you have to make sure you don't overflow the water in any kind of enclosure, deli cup, whatever it is. And with these nanos, this is glass. You can't drill extra ventilation holes, and with a spider in there, you wouldn't want to try. So, as you can see, this spider will be, in a few minutes or two, another half hour, just fine. In fact, the humidity level will probably match what's in the room shortly. Let's just help the process along and open the door this first few seconds. Now what I'm going to do is gently waft some air in. The spider isn't moving. Down 67%. %. We're in a safe zone. Now, what you have to do, you do have to kind of leave this alone for a few hours, and because the excess water will probably raise the temperature again. You have to leave this alone for a few hours and let it dry, and then turn it off and slowly bring the humidity down to normal. This is why there's a need to know. Individuals who don't put gauges in their cages, doesn't even matter if you have heat, doesn't matter what it is, are remaining blissfully ignorant. Now, this thermometer might even cost more than the spider. So what? The idea is to keep them alive. And when this guy is older and he's sent out to breed, the slings are definitely going to be worth more than that. So the point is, there's always a need to know. You can see that it's increasing a little bit. We'll just leave that on. The intakes will. This 62% is fine. For these guys, your air maybe, the air in this room, it's kind of a little bit dry. Sometimes even dips down as far as 35% or so. I like to keep them, between 45 to 60. This is a dry spider. If it is a dry spider and too much humidity will hurt the spider, you need to make sure that you don't get into that condition. It's like having an airbag and a seatbelt in your car. You don't plan on crashing. Nevertheless, you wear the damn seatbelt. Anyway, thank you very much. Remember, too much, no one ever asked too many questions. The only dumb question and the only dangerous question is the ones you don't ask. Because what you don't know will hurt you.